Jalen Brunson just finished having a historic night for the New York Knicks, but unfortunately, it came in a loss. All that and much more on the Knicks Digest. What's up, guys? It's your boy Dariel from Knicks Digest, and let's get right into today's video. So the Knicks just finished losing 126 to 130 to the San Antonio Spurs in overtime. But the biggest takeaway from the game is Jalen Brunson, that boy putting on that Superman cape, having 61 points. 61. Let me say that one more time. Jalen Brunson finished the game with 61 points. He was 1 point shy of breaking Carmelo Anthony's record of highest point total in a game wearing a New York Knicks uniform. If we dive deeper into the numbers, it's kind of crazy. Jalen Brunson ended up taking 47 shots. There must be something in the air because last night with the Boston Celtics taking on the Atlanta Hawks, DeJounte Murray, I believe, had 40 points, but he took 44 shots. And Brunson tonight had 47. I don't know what's going on, but he was 25 of 47 from the field, 5 of 13 from three-point land, 6 of 6 from free throw land. Time and time again, I'm going to keep saying it. Jalen Brunson, to me, is definitely in the conversation for the best point guard in the league, not just the Eastern Conference. I've been seeing a lot of stuff on the internet talking about Jalen Brunson being this elite talent, having elite skills, but then everybody just always diminishes it and always puts him in the Eastern Conference. No, Jalen Brunson deserves to be in the conversation with the SGAs, with the Lukas, with the Stephs, with the Damian Lillards, even though Dame is having a pretty rough season this year with the Milwaukee Bucks. And then that leads me to my next point. NBA.com, every week they have an MVP ladder race where they just talk about the contenders for the MVP. The regulars, we got Jokic, we got SGA, we got Jason Tatum, we got Luka, but someone who keeps getting disrespected, sometimes incredibly disrespected, not even in the top 10 conversation, Jalen Brunson. I recently put out a video and Jalen Brunson was actually the last 5 players that they mentioned. After they mentioned 10 players, then they brought up Jalen Brunson as in the last 5, as in the 15 players. That's hugely disrespectful. I don't know what else Jalen Brunson has to do to garner the respect of the media. Jalen Brunson is time and time again showing you that he's the best player on the team. Jalen Brunson has also shown you that he could lead a team into the playoffs past the first round. I don't know what else this guy needs to show you. In tonight's game, he showed you everything. He showed you the mid-range, the post-up, the footwork, the being aggressive to the basket, converting on his free throws. Like, I really don't know what else Jalen Brunson has to show you in order for the media to just completely say, like, no, this guy is definitely top 3 point guards in the league. If not, having to be in the conversation of top 2. Now, again, if you want to combat everything I just said by throwing at me, they play the San Antonio Spurs. Granted, it's kind of valid. The San Antonio Spurs, I think they might have the second worst record in the NBA. They're a really young, up-and-coming team. They're just learning on the fly, and they got the best prospects since probably LeBron James and Victor Wembanyama. And watching tonight's game, I was definitely keeping an eye on Victor Wembanyama because I don't really get to see a lot of him. And man, this guy is just thoroughly impressive, man. 7'3" that he's listed, but I've also heard and I've seen in other places where he's 7'5". But being able to handle the ball the way he does, being able to move as if he's like a 6'6", 6'7" guard is absolutely scary. This is his rookie year. This is the worst that we're going to see him. Think about that. This is the worst that we're going to see Victor Wembanyama. And tonight against the Knicks, he ended up having 40 points. He ended up converting 13 of 22 from the field, 4 of 9 from three-point land, converting 10 of his 12 free throws. So 40 points, 20 rebounds. This guy is a freak of nature, man. He could undoubtedly go down as the best player of all time. But there's a lot of stuff that he has to go through beforehand. He has to make sure that he doesn't have any serious injuries. He has to obviously get to the playoffs. He obviously has to win championships. He obviously has to win MVPs, final MVPs. There's so much stuff in front of Victor Wembanyama. But as far as talent alone, it's absolutely scary. And as far as the league with LeBron, KD, Steph, these older guys phasing out, there's a bunch of new people, the new crop, that the NBA is kind of targeting to make the face of the league. And no question, Victor Wembanyama deserves to be on that list. Besides Jalen Brunson's historic night, dropping 61 points, there's 2 other things that I noticed. One, Mitchell Robinson looks absolutely horrible. And I'm not talking about his touch, his stamina, his conditioning. I'm talking about just physically. Mitchell Robinson was obviously limping around, and it was pretty bad. I'm not sure exactly what it was. We didn't see him land on anyone's foot, so it's not like he twisted his ankle. And I'm not sure if he bumped knees with anybody, because in all the replays that they were giving tonight during the game, we didn't show any contact that Mitchell Robinson had with anybody. But it was just bad. He was laboring up and down the court. He was limping very, very noticeably. And I'm just hoping that it's not anything serious. It is his second game back, but just the way he was getting up and down the court was not assuring at all. So now, the last thing that I noticed of tonight, somebody that we desperately need to get going, Bogdan Bogdanovich ended the game with 4 points, 2 of 7 from the field, 0 of 3 from three-point land. We need to desperately get Bogey going, because this is one of the reasons why we traded for him. He was a dead-eye shooter from the three-point land. He was a veteran leader who has playoff experience. But in the last few games, like, this guy cannot hit a bucket. He can't hit water if he was standing on a boat. This guy, and it's the looks that he's normally getting. It's like a swing, and then he has an open shot for a three in the corner, and he's just not hitting them. He's driving to the hoop and just doing that little pull-up. He's not hitting that. And I don't know what it is, man. I mean, he's a shooter, so it's probably just a slump. And the only way to get out of a slump for a shooter is to keep shooting. But the playoffs are right around the corner. And if he's going into the playoffs in a slump, having to break that slump in the playoffs, that's kind of difficult to do, because the pressure is already raised. The physicality is going to be raised. The refs are going to let a lot of calls go. So that's just something I'm keeping an eye on. Bogey, I hope he starts getting it going in the next few weeks before we hit the playoffs. 61 points, just 1 point shy of breaking Carmelo Anthony's record of all-time points scored as a New York Knick. Now, with my friends, I said that Jalen Brunson has an opportunity to go down as one of, if not the best Knick of all time, because there's a lot of things that you got to take into account. Yeah, we know Walt Clyde Frazier, Earl Pearl Monroe, Willis Reed. Well, Walt Clyde and Willis Reed, they got 2 rings. Earl Pearl Monroe has 1. Patrick Ewing, after that little crop that I just mentioned, Patrick Ewing is the next best player. But the thing is, Patrick Ewing doesn't have a ring. Melo, to me, is not in the conversation of being the best Knick of all time, and partially is because of Phil Jackson, but half of it is because of Phil Jackson, and the other half is because Melo himself, I just feel like he didn't do enough with the talent with his talent alone, I feel like he didn't do enough to push the Knicks past what we were all expecting them to be. But the Jalen Brunson, we gotta take into account the type of competition that he's facing every night. This is the most talent the NBA has had, I think, ever. You're talking about night to night facing different type of guards, different bigs that are able to spread the floor, put the ball on the floor. Like, the level of competition that Jalen Brunson is facing is nothing that Melo has seen. Nowhere near that Clyde, Willis Reed, or Earl Pearl Monroe has seen. Patrick Ewing as well. And Jalen Brunson only having 1 season under his belt, already getting past the first round of the playoffs into the second round. Now, I know Patrick Ewing, we had Eastern Conference Finals appearances with him. He had a Finals appearance as well as being the number 1 option. So I'm just saying that Jalen Brunson, the resume that he's put together so far in only basically 2 seasons is thoroughly impressive. 60-point balls, 50-point balls, past the first round, dropping a 40-point game in Game 6 where he was eliminated by the Miami Heat. If Jalen Brunson is able to make a couple of Eastern Conference Finals and hopefully a Finals appearance, and we never know, maybe winning a championship ring, like, I don't know, man, that might put Jalen Brunson at the head of the line. And I know I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm just really excited to see Jalen Brunson put forth this effort. 61 points. I know it was against the San Antonio Spurs, but man, 61 points is not nothing to sneeze at. It's not nothing to scoff at. Jalen Brunson, in my opinion, I have a really good feeling about Jalen Brunson, man. I feel like things are going to swing our way, and Jalen Brunson is going to have an opportunity to get to the NBA Finals. But that's it for today's video, guys. I want you guys to leave it in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about the Knicks' effort tonight against the San Antonio Spurs. Also, what do you guys think about Jalen Brunson? Where does he rank within the point guards in the league? And what do you guys think about this 61-point performance that he had tonight? But until next time, guys, thank you for checking out the video. Taj Gibson for president, Jalen Brunson for all the MVPs, Deuce McBride for co-MVP, and until next time, we out. Peace.